Somehow it's tough and mealy all at the same time.
Over the next 10 weeks, I'm going to 10 different grocery stores to figure out which one has the absolute best seafood section. I'm going to rank them based on the variety, the price, the experience in the store, the freshness of the seafood, and last but not least, the taste of the seafood when I cook it at home. So far, I've gone to 3 different grocery stores, and the ranking is number 3 is H Mart, number 2 is Costco, and the best is Aldi, and today I'm headed to Walmart. You probably heard there was a big recall on Walmart shrimp because they may be radioactive, but I'm hoping that they don't have those shrimp anymore because they've all been recalled. So I headed back to the seafood section, which was tucked back in a back corner of my Walmart, and checked out the different selection they have. Now, it was actually a fairly big seafood section. And honestly, the variety was actually pretty decent, but the overall organization of the seafood section left some stuff to be desired. It really was kind of a mess, and there was a whole bunch of different seafood that was also on clearance. For example, right next to these oysters were these lobsters, and they were discounted, and this tuna was too. So I dug through and tried to find the freshest seafood I could, like this ahi tuna that was $9.96 per pound. These pieces of a cod fillet that actually look pretty decent, and they were $9.97 per pound. I also grabbed some of these Pacific oysters, which are $14.97 per pound. I thought about getting the frozen snow crab legs, but there were some that were already defrosted, so I grabbed those, and those were $13.77 per pound. I grabbed some salmon that was $9.57 per pound, and then of course I had to grab some shrimp too. Now the shrimp that were recalled were from Indonesia, and I believe these ones were from Ecuador, and they were $8.50 per pound. The variety really was below average, so I gave that a 6 out of 10. The price was below national average, so that got an 8 out of 10. And the experience was a 5 out of 10 because it was kind of a mess and you didn't really have a normal seafood counter to shop at.
Okay, so here's everything that I got from the Walmart seafood section. Let's go through it bit by bit and kind of see exactly where they're from, if they're previously frozen, and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously the first one is going to be the Great Value raw shrimp. One thing that I noticed is they are farm raised, but different from a lot of the other places that had farm raised shrimp. These ones are actually from Ecuador. And also I noticed too that these are 21.25, which is the count we've been doing for all of them. And they're called jumbo as well. So again, a different name than other ones. I think it was Costco, they were called large. And then at Aldi, they were super jumbo. And at Walmart, they're jumbo. So don't go by this. Make sure you go by the actual shrimp count when you're buying these. Now, since these are already frozen, I did defrost them. What I like to do when I defrost them is I put them in a bowl of water and I put that bowl in the refrigerator. It can take a little bit of time for them to defrost, but I find this to be the safest because the shrimp don't get too warm, which is something you definitely don't want. So this is the shrimp right here. Let's go ahead and peel the shell off just so we can see it. So there's the peeled and deveined shrimp. Interesting. I mean, it smells like a shrimp. Nothing crazy, so that would be good. Next up are these oysters. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this. The one thing that's for sure, I won't be eating these raw. I'm gonna deep fry these oysters. They are size extra small. They don't look too small though. And they're from Hilton's Northwest Grown Pacific Oysters. Looking over it, I didn't see it says farm raised product of the USA, but I don't see exactly what farm or what area they're from. So, okay, I found it here. It says distributed by Pacific Shellfish, South Bend LLC in Washington. So these are Washington farm raised oysters. I guess we're gonna go ahead and just open one up. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, a little concerned that opened pretty easily. Oh, we got the liquor spilling out now. Yeah, like I said, I would never eat jarred oysters raw unless I knew exactly when they were shucked, but even then, it's not the best practice. You normally want to eat fresh oysters raw, and these jarred oysters are great for frying. So you can see that's a good size, actually good size oyster for frying. Not sure why they called it a small one. Let's get this one back in the refrigerator too. Now we have the cod, and this cod is wild caught cod, and it says it's product of the United States. Looking over it, it looks like a good size fillet. And I mean, I don't see anything on here It doesn't say fresh. So if you're wondering if this was previously frozen, the best way to try to figure it out is if it says fresh never frozen, then it's going to be fresh. If it doesn't say anything about it, it's previously frozen, and you probably don't want to refreeze this because it's going to lower the quality of the fish. So you probably want to cook this when you get it instead of trying to freeze it and save it for later. And yeah, so it's just 2 big, thick chunks. No off-putting smell or anything like that. And they're both around the same size. They feel firm. I think it's gonna be a good one. All right, so now on to the Atlantic salmon, and these ones specifically say fresh, never frozen. So these have never been frozen. I noticed along the edges of it though, there's definitely some like liquid and stuff coming out. I don't know if you guys can see that. I haven't seen that on the other ones. And I also noticed too, and I didn't notice it before because it was underneath the actual label, but right there, there's some bruising on the salmon as well. And I keep picking Atlantic salmon because it's the most widely available salmon. And so it's likely gonna be in every store. Okay, so this one, that doesn't look like the best. You can see it's kind of mushy almost there. It looks like scales are on it too. So this has not been, yeah, this still has the scales on it as well. As far as the salmon goes, the smell doesn't smell like, there's no fishy smell to it. It's the preparing of it, or like how they cut it up and everything. It just isn't ideal. Yeah, and that doesn't look great either. Kind of browning a little bit. I know it's safe to eat, but as far as the salmon goes in these taste tests, this is probably the worst I've seen so far. Next up is the ahi tuna, and something I've noticed is a lot of the ahi tuna that you're getting is product of Vietnam. Again, this one says nothing about being fresh, never frozen. So this was frozen before, defrosted, and then put into these vacuum sealed packs. Nothing too bad, but you can see kind of on the edges there, it just kind of looks mushy almost and not too fresh. It definitely, you can tell it's been frozen. As far as the tuna goes, I'd say this is on the lower end as well. And the last one is snow crab. Now I wasn't sure if I was gonna get this or not, but I did just because I was curious. So let's go ahead and open it up and see. Okay, looking at them, they feel pretty light. And it looks like at one point they had some barnacles on it. So when they're grading snow crab, a lot of the time the barnacles on there are making it so it's a lower quality crab. So they probably try to scrape some of these off when they were packing them just to make it a little more desirable, I guess. I don't know. But they come off pretty easily, and it shouldn't affect the taste. It's just that a lot of people eat with their eyes, so if it doesn't look good, people are gonna think it doesn't taste good. This is 1 pound, and I got 1 cluster, 2 clusters, and then just some, I guess this is 3 and 4 clusters. No, this is just 3 clusters. So in 1 pound, there was about 3 clusters. This one's all broken up, and these 2 are intact.
Overall, I was pretty unimpressed with the freshness of the seafood from Walmart. I mean, this salmon absolutely was mushy and like sticky, and I just wasn't really too excited about eating it. The highlight probably was the cod and the shrimp. It actually felt pretty good, but overall, like I said, the freshness was not there compared to the other stores. Now, I kept it simple just like all the other videos. I air fry the salmon, I deep fry the cod, I sear the tuna using everything bagel seasoning. Guys, if you haven't done that yet, you have to try it before you judge me for it. It's absolutely delicious. And the shrimp just go in some butter with some of my own JO seasoning right on top of it. And if you're curious, JO seasoning is a locally made crab seasoning that I have a seafood seasoning and a crab seasoning on my website for. I also have the crab knives, apparel, and all types of stuff. And right now, if you spend over $45 at buythewaterstore.com, you're going to get free shipping. Now back to the taste test. One of the things I noticed about the shrimp is while they said they were deveined, that one definitely was not. So let's go ahead and do the taste test.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to start with the shrimp first. One thing I noticed, most of them were deveined, but this one right here still had the vein in it. Let's pull that vein out of there and give it a taste. Surprisingly, they're pretty good. Good solid shrimp. None of that like chemically iodine taste to them. They're not overly chewy. They're still moist. A good middle of the road shrimp. Next up is the salmon, and it's the one that I had the most reservations about. Yeah. Almost has like a chemical taste to it. It's not bad. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. There's no fishy taste to it. But it also doesn't taste fresh. Let's try the fried cod and the fried oysters as well. Now these are Pacific oysters, so they have like a cucumbery smell to them. I've never had a fried Pacific oyster. I've only ever eaten fried Atlantic oysters, so I'm curious how this one's gonna taste. No. If you like and you grew up on Pacific oysters, this probably tastes normal. But to me, that like cucumberiness to it, I really don't like it fried. The cod though, tastes good. It's firm, it's flaky, it's thick, almost too thick to cook evenly. But this is really good. I'm surprised. Out of all of it so far, I'd say this cod is my favorite at Walmart. It's a pretty good sear. The color has turned definitely more of a pale pink. No, somehow it's tough and mealy all at the same time. There's no overly fishy taste. And honestly, the everything bagel seasoning tastes delicious on it. But as far as quality, this is the lowest quality tuna that I've tried so far. And last but not least are the snow crab legs. I'm cautiously optimistic that these are gonna be okay. Some of my favorite snow crab legs for the price have been from Aldi. So let's see if these lower cost snow crab legs are any good. I normally do that, pull the tendon out, and then you should be able to pretty easily break this in half. And then it should pull just right out, but it did not this time. Oop, there we go. Nice little leg pull. If I'm being honest, they don't really taste like anything. Yeah, that is pretty mushy there. I don't know if it's because it's the one that's defrosted, and maybe the one that would be like already frozen, you defrost yourself would be better, but this seems pretty low quality to me. Yeah, this is not good.
And the final score for Walmart is for freshness, a 4 out of 10, because a lot of the seafood that I got, even if it was previously frozen, it still wasn't fresh when it was frozen. And as far as taste, it's a 5 out of 10, making Walmart the lowest ranked score with 28 points.